Jersey said.
All right. So, yeah, we are live here finally. It actually looks a little better from the outside. I don't know, you guys can't probably see it, but from the outside, it looks a little better. And yeah, technical difficulties aside, here we are. AFC, NFC South. Fuck, Tim Tebow. God damn it. We keep talking about him every fucking week at this point.
We're going to be until he gets cut.
So, yeah. We'll talk about him one more week after that, probably. But, yeah.
Until he comes out and announces that he's going to go try out for the Florida Panthers.
Oh, God.
Play in the NHL.
Jesus Christ. I hope not. I heard Toronto needs a new player at this point.
Oh, my God. Did you see Tavares get killed the other night?
Oh, my God. That was terrible, yeah.
Yeah, that was scary.
Like, I saw somebody, hit it, and I'm like, this isn't...
That looks like a dive, and then Corey Perry comes out of nowhere.
yeah, exactly.
That was scary, man.
Crushed him. Let's see here. Yeah. So, Tebow, obviously, got signed. Where do you see him? Do you see him start? Justin says, I want to give Dudek Dudek says, I want to give Dennis a Whip Willie so bad.
That's nice to know, Justin. I appreciate that. I really do.
I don't see Tebow making the roster.
No? Don't think so?
I don't think so. I just can't realistically see it. I mean, I said it when all this first started about him trying out as a tight end. The kid is an incredible athlete.
Yeah.
But
that's it.
he's just not good enough. He can't consistently do it. He's an incredible athlete. He's built like a tank. We don't even know if he can catch.
I mean, that is kind of true.
He sure as hell can't fucking throw. Maybe they'll line up some Philly special type plays for him. I don't know.
See him being like a bigger Taysom Hill, pretty much.
Yeah, if he even makes the roster. Like I said, I don't even think he makes the roster. There's just, I think it's all just a show at this point.
Right. Let's get one more paycheck before I retire from all sports.
It's to get the fan base excited more than anything, I think.
I think it is too. Plus, I mean,
I really just can't put a logical thought into what he is possibly there for, realistically.
Show just a name.
Generate buzz. And obviously he's done that. Jersey sales have gone through the roof for him. And Jacksonville, it's not necessarily a team that, has a ton of fans. So, he's generated a lot of buzz for that team with him being there. To Andrew's point, whether or not, he makes the team, I actually think he will make the team, if for no other reason, nepotism. They want to sell tickets, and having Tebow there, he's from Jacksonville. He's pretty much a god down there. I think he will end up making their team, and as some sort of gimmick player for them.
Yeah,
it's kind of funny you say that because Dudek was like, "Yeah, he's like Tebow, a god."
I totally agree with that. If he were, I just look from a pure football standpoint, I just can't logically see him making the roster. But I do agree with that, as whether it's ego, spite, whatever it could possibly be in Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow's head that started all of this, he could make the roster just as a big fuck you to everybody. Who knows?
Yeah.
This is This is classic Tim Tebow passive aggressiveness. Like,
oh God, it's like Jesus put me here for a reason. Yeah, to piss
Right.
everybody off.
right.
That's all you get.
And I don't want to like, and I don't want us to be like this kind of like show or podcast or whatever. But like, I really don't want to go down this road with it too deep down this rabbit hole. But if Tebow does not deserve to be on an NFL roster at all, based on his athletic ability. But if he's getting this chance, Colin Kaepernick should at least get the opportunity to sign with a team and go to training camp and try to make a fucking roster.
Absolutely.
Take everything else out of it just from a pure football standpoint.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
Unfortunately, that everything else is why Colin Kaepernick is not going to get a look from an NFL.
It is. Right. And I didn't really want to bring it up and go down this rabbit hole, like I said, but he does not, Colin Kaepernick does not deserve to be a starter. If he wants to be a starter, he can and he can get signed to a team and go to training camp and he can earn a starting job, then absolutely. But he was asking for $20 million and wanted a guaranteed starting job. And I don't agree with. But he does deserve the opportunity to try to make a team.
Absolutely.
Tim Tebow does not, in my opinion.
I'm actually going to put this as a poll, too, here to see what everybody else thinks.
Oh, you could go anywhere and find the answer to that question.
Oh, I know. But that's what we're here for.
Right.
The lack of Aaron Rodgers news. I'm going to just leave it at that. There is none. Next.
Nothing happened.
Julio Jones. You go ahead. Take it.
I'll go down that road.
Beer, you take it.
Okay. I love Julio Jones. He's been top 5 receiver in the league for the past decade. Just less than a decade. 7, 8 years. He's been the best, one of the best in the league, top 5. For a stretch there, he was the best in the league. And he's 31 years old. He can still do it. He's never complained about anything. He's never complained about the bad seasons. He's never complained about
I think there
not
was
getting
one year there maybe he would have been rightfully justified though. And I'm not talking about the Super Bowl year. I'm talking about it's 2 years before that. I think he was so.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's definitely times where it could have been where he, may have said, "Hey, I'm just frustrated with losing," but but he never said, "I want out because we're losing." Like he never did any of that kind of stuff. He's always been a stand-up, team first kind of guy.
Right.
These trade rumors are less about the team wanting him gone or him wanting out. It's more about they need the cap space, and he's 31 years old, eating up a lot of cap money.
Oh yeah, tons of money. But he's worth it. I mean,
and he's definitely worth it. Still at 31 years old, he's still one of the best receivers in the league by far. He can still do it all. He's got speed, size, can run all the routes, great hands, all that stuff. Problem is, costs too much money. And they're trying to sign Kyle Pitts, and they got a good young receiver in Calvin Ridley under Julio Jones.
Yes, sir.
And a few more complimentary Russell Gage and some receivers like that make up a very good core of receivers. So it is what it is. If Julio Jones gets traded, I'm not going to be mad about it because he did a lot for that franchise. If he wants to, if he's okay with getting traded, and he feels like he could end up in a place where he's got a better shot to win a championship, I'm all for it. Good for him. He's earned it.
I fully agree. I think he should just take the money and get out in a couple of years. Let's just get as much as we can and bye.
Yeah.
Julio, man, he's just been a consummate professional. Like you said, he's never complained. I've never heard him throw any fits. He doesn't have that, diva reputation that comes with a lot of these wide receivers. He just goes out there and does his job. So
Right.
it'd be weird to see him in a uniform other than that Atlanta Falcons jersey. But
hell yeah.
but at 31 years old, he's still got a lot of good football left in him. So
Fully agree.
and I totally understand that the Falcons want to move on from him though, because they are trying to start fresh. But then if they do that, you might as well try to see about what you can do with Matt Ryan too, because Matt Ryan's like what 35, 36 years old.
36.
36, yes. If you're gonna try to do something with Julio, then you might as well try to do something with Matt Ryan too.
I don't know about that. I mean, I kind of look at that differently because the quarterback position is different than the wide receiver position. Julio Jones had Roddy White as a mentor when he first came in the league, but that was like it wasn't as big a deal as having a young quarterback come in and get shown the ropes. Now, Matt Ryan is a totally different story because coming out in the draft, everybody knew Matt Ryan was one of the top 2 quarterbacks in the draft.
Yeah.
Like he was the most pro-ready one. He started right away. His first pass in the NFL was a bomb to Roddy White for a touchdown. Like the guy, like everybody just knew Matt Ryan was going to be successful in the NFL. Wide receivers, or for quarterbacks, not every quarterback is like that. Certain guys are going to need to sit behind, Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, perfect example. Favre, I don't think Rodgers would have been as good as he was had he not had them couple of years to sit and watch Favre. And the way the quarterback position is played now in the NFL, it's much more cerebral than it is physical. And having Matt Ryan would benefit a young quarterback coming in as opposed to just throwing some kid into the wolves' den at this point. I mean, I do agree it's time to start thinking about life after Matt Ryan, but I don't think it's safe to just pull the trigger, and because that won't be good for this new GM and coaching regime either.
That's very true. And Matt Ryan still has about at least 3 good years left in him. So so I would I agree with you on that point. Quarterbacks are different, and nowadays quarterbacks are playing into their 40s now. So
right,
and at 36 years old, it's not far fetched to see Matt Ryan play another.
No. It is fair to say though that I'm fairly confident Matt Ryan does not end his career with the Falcons. I feel pretty confident in saying that.
You said he won't?
I feel pretty confident that Matt Ryan will not end his career with the Falcons.
I can see it.
I could see him playing. I mean, I could see him playing into his 40s like Brady at this point. He's been fairly healthy throughout his entire career. He's never had a major injury.
No, yeah.
I mean, Brady's playing into his 40s and is supposedly in the best shape of his life, and he tore his ACL back in the day. It's just.
We don't need another Brady. That is like, ultimately disappointing.
Well, the difference between Matt Ryan and Tom Brady is Tom Brady's won.
Like Super Bowl, he's going to go to a few more and then just lose them all.
No.
Ends up the anti-Brady.
No, it won't get that bad.
No?
Matt Ryan's he's a Hall of Famer for sure.
You were just saying that because you're biased.
No. No, I mean, look at his stats.
No, I agree. I agree that he needs some Super Bowls, but that's a team sport. But they still look at it like no matter what.
I mean, Jim Kelly's in with no Super Bowls, and Matt Ryan's numbers are, I think, better than Jim Kelly's.
Probably. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. To be honest.
Way, yeah.
Well, shit. We're already in the AFC South or NFC South. I mean, might as well keep it going. How do you feel about them Saints? Their quarterback situation.
I think the Saints are gonna go back to being the Aints
It would be one of the worst.
until they can
Find something, hopefully.
find a real replacement for Drew Brees, and I think it's going to be a little while before it happens. Taysom Hill's not
quite a while, honestly.
Jameis Winston.
Like draft picks too, like that they could use.
Jameis Winston is far from the answer.
He is terrible. Dennis disappeared on us again. Other than that, I mean,
I do like the same. Like I like Cameron Jordan, their defensive end. That dude's a stud pass rusher, one of the best in the league.
You said Cam Jordan? Sorry,
Yeah,
I had my mic shut off for a second for some reason.
I like Cam Jordan. I like Malcolm Jenkins. I like Alvin Kamara a lot. That's the kind of running back I'd like to see the Bills and the Falcons end up with, is an Alvin Kamara type guy.
That'd be amazing. I'd be so happy.
Michael Thomas. Michael Thomas is. I mean, he led the league in catches. Michael Thomas.
Yeah.
He's not that old.
No.
No.
I could have swore he was like 31 or something.
No, he's not that old. He's only been in the league for like 3 or 4 years, I think.
You know, man, this is going to be an unpopular take.
He's 28. Michael Thomas is 28.
Okay.
Right. Sorry, Dennis.
No, this is going to be an unpopular take on Drew Brees. I said it a few years ago. I thought Drew Brees was washed like 2-3 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I said it after the NFC title game when they played the Rams that year. You know, all the controversial calls they had in that game. If you look at the last 5 or 6 games of that season, Drew Brees was not good. And he had, I mean, if he were a pitcher, he was throwing, that fastball was going at like 65. And he had nothing. He couldn't throw it deep anymore. Matter of fact, his last game, the best throw of that game for the Saints was made by Jameis Winston, because he was the only guy who could throw the ball deep. And Brees couldn't test anybody down the field. So I thought it was fairly appropriate that, you know, that he retired, knowing that he had nothing left in the tank.
No, these last couple of years, he's definitely been a shell of his former self.
Yes.
I mean, there's still flashes of it, but it had to be on like a totally blown coverage or something. Like,
yes.
I see them being. Oh God, I want to like the Saints some days, and then other days I'm just like, please don't ever show up on my screen again. And I feel like
there's a good chance. There's a good chance the Saints finish dead last in that division.
Yeah, easily.
The Saints have been really good these last 4 years. You know, they've won, I think, since 2017. I think they've won 49 games. They've won 11 games in 2017, then they won 13 in 2018 and 19, and then they won 12 this past season. They've been a very good team these last.
They're super consistent.
Yeah, you know, and last 3 years they've won at least 12 games. And like I mentioned, 2017 they won 11. They won 11-5, and they got hit with the Minnesota Miracle to Stephon Diggs. You know, for the Saints, you know, whether it's Jameis Winston or whether it's Taysom Hill, I don't think Taysom Hill is a quarterback. I think he's a better version of Tebow, I believe, but I would not have him as my full-time quarterback, because then you pretty much got to be like Army of the NFL where you just run the ball like 55 times a game, and he'll throw it, 10 or 12 times a game.
Yeah. I don't know. The Saints quarterback situation is going to be.
It's gonna suck for everybody.
I don't think it's going to be. I don't want to say it's going to be fun to watch because I don't think it's going to be fun to watch. But it's going to be a sight to behold for sure. Because, like Dennis said, Taysom Hill is really just a better version of Tebow. Could do more, but Jameis, he can't be trusted.
No, not even a little bit at all.
When's the Jameis 30 for 30 going to come out? That's called 30 for 30. Jameis Winston. 30 for 30.
Interceptions. But if Sean Payton is an offensive guru, I mean, keep in mind when Drew Brees got hurt a couple years ago, Teddy Bridgewater stepped in and held it down pretty well.
Yeah.
He ended up going. Matter of fact, Teddy Bridgewater had 5 starts. He won all 5 of those starts. And Taysom Hill, he's got a whole lot of limitations as a quarterback. But in the 4 games he started, he went 3-1. So it's not like. And Sean Payton just finds ways to make it work. So I'm going to trust, and I'm not a big Jameis Winston guy, but I am a big Sean Payton guy, and I trust that Sean Payton will find a way to get the most out of.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see Nick Foles head on down to New Orleans.
That'd be interesting, honestly. Watch him beat Tom Brady. Just be like, I still got your number.
Nick Foles has failed everywhere not named Philadelphia, though.
I know, it's ridiculous.
How many times is he going to keep getting chances to fail?
Same number as time Tebow gets.
At least one more. Oh, God. Yeah, no. I don't know. Foles, he's like a love-hate.
There's also, Jacksonville, we'll get into them. They drafted Trevor Lawrence. What's happening with Gardner Minshew? Could see the Saints pulling something off to bring him in. Have those 2 guys compete for the starting job.
That's 3 way different quarterbacks. Like, holy shit.
Yeah, but if Sean Payton is the genius that
he's gonna find which one works best for his offense.
Find which one's the best of the 3 of them, and then design the offense around that.
Absolutely.
So like I said, Michael Thomas is one of the best receivers in the league. He could adapt to any style offense that he's playing in.
Oh, yeah.
Alvin Kamara, I don't know. Alvin Kamara is a different story.
I don't know. I think they're gonna kind of keep it around him this year anyway. So realistically, he's got the best chance.
Oh, he's gonna get some work this season.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Kamara can do it all, man. He can run. He catches it out the backfield. He's just one of those guys that not saying he's as good as like Marshall Faulk, because Marshall Faulk is an all-time great, but man, Kamara, the things he does for a football team is just outstanding. I'd love to have him. Never had any good coaching. I mean, Adam Gase was a complete disaster for him and for the Jets franchise. So, and now, he's going to Carolina where they do have a competent coach. So I'd like to see, what Darnold does now that he will have something resembling competent coaching. It's up in the air with Darnold, though. He's got some talent, but I don't know. I'm confused with Carolina. I really don't have a feel for that team. I don't know if they're going to be bad. Like they've said whether they're going to be a team that's just a complete shit show or a team that's going to be a really viable team. If you held a gun to my head, I'd say they go something like 7, 10, 8, 9. But yeah, I don't really have a feel for Carolina.
That's kind of how I was feeling, but I don't see them being. I see it's happened to them a few times in the last decade or so too, where they're either really mediocre for so long, or it's either they're in the Super Bowl one year and then they're fucking bottom of the barrel the next year. I can't really pinpoint them either, so I guess I'll go with you on that one. I don't want to say 8-8, but fuck it. I guess 8-8 or 8-9. Yeah.
I'm saying 8-8.
You can't say 8-8. 8-9 or 9-8. Which one?
8-9. I'm saying 8-9.
I can say
just doesn't sound right.
Yeah, right.
But here we go. Fucking Peace Lane Resistance in the NFC South. Fucking Tom Brady and the fucking Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the defending champs.
Super Bowl.
Oh my god, I'm just so sick of Tom Brady.
Aren't we all?
Oh my god, I just I think he's doing what LeBron wants to do, and he won't. He's gonna play until his son is.
I hope not.
Just go out. Go out and just shred his son in a football game.
Oh, that would be the ultimate bad father move.
Oh, I mean,
they brought everybody back though, so
the
likelihood of them repeating is quite high.
The scariest part is that team is so set up to be good for even after Brady. It's that defense, so much young talent on that defense.
Oh yeah.
So much. Antoine Winfield Jr. got Buffalo Bills connection. His dad played for the Bills.
Yes.
That kid. That kid probably played the best game of his life in that Super Bowl. And he's only a rookie. He was only a rookie in that game, but everybody was talking so much shit about how Tyreek Hill was just going to fucking run by him the whole fucking game. And he got a penalty for it, but when he just gave Tyreek at the end of the game, I was just like, holy shit, that's hilarious. That team's going to be so good for a long time.
I always liked it when I was younger. So, I don't hate it. I hate Tom Brady so much. But
I don't hate him because he's out of the AFC East. Well, now he's in the NFC East. So just for me, it's like, what the fuck? I can't get away from this fucking guy. Hasn't he done enough to the Falcons? As a top Brady fucking broke my heart enough.
We all get it all. Sorry, I like to share this and do this and that, and trying to set up our stream for next time too. So if I'm a little quiet, that's why. But fuck Tom Brady.
That's why you're the tech guy.
That's why I'm the tech guy.
You figure at some point, Father Time's gonna catch up to Tom Brady. But what?
You were saying that 10 years ago.
Yeah. He turned 30 with him about to turn 44 in a couple of months here in August. Again, you got to figure, you're thinking just maybe one of these days, Father Time just catches up to him the same way it did Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, and Phillip Rivers, and a lot of guys before him. So, but it hasn't with Brady. It's almost as though that deal he made with the devil has just been intact for 2+ decades
now. That's all I can. he had to make a deal with the devil. Like that's the only. It doesn't even sound logical, but that just feels like the most logical explanation for what he has been able to do for 20 plus fucking years.
Yeah,
it's insane. It's insane. And I like
by itself is insane, let alone the productivity that he's had. Like fuck.
Oh my god, it's ridiculous. The consistency, not even just playing that long, just the consistency of playing that long.
Yeah.
He's never had a down year. Like he's never had a bad year.
He threw his second most touchdown passes of his career at 43 years old. So that doesn't even make sense, man.
I'm just as baffled as you are, and I've had to see him like twice a year, every year. You know what I mean? Like, fuck. Can we just break his leg? Something?
See, yeah, I mean, I don't like to have those kind of thoughts. Maybe we're different in that.
At this point, though, it's like the straw that broke the camel's back, seeing him get, another Super Bowl and another team, and you're just like, you know what? I don't even care anymore.
But this year, him winning the Super Bowl was different because I had like an interest in him winning the Super Bowl because of how badly that fucking AFC Championship game went.
Yeah. Oh my god.
So I had a vested interest in Tom Brady. I'm like, all right, Tom, you get one, and this is it. Don't.
He got it all right.
They went
They're
out
just
kicked ass.
And going back. I mean, there's really not much to say to them because they brought everybody back. So everything's just going to be the same that it was last year.
Can you imagine? That's another situation. Massive drop off. Super Bowl hangover or whatever they call it. Like,
I don't know. I've always liked Bruce Arians as a coach, though. He's always been. He's a good coach.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he's awesome too. What was the one article or something? They were trying to talk to him like after the Super Bowl, and he was like fucking hammered. Like he was like just boom hammered, trying to talk to him. And I'm like, what are you doing? Oh, I wish I could pull that up right now. That shit was funny as hell.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. NFC South is going to be an interesting division to watch this year. You got the Buccaneers bringing everybody back, defending Super Bowl champs. You got New Orleans, who won the division last year, most likely not going to win it this year. Your franchise quarterback of the last how many years? 15 years, just retired.
Yes.
Yeah, bye-bye to that whole team.
You got Atlanta, essentially the similar roster as last year for the most part. Lost a couple guys on defense. Julio Jones, who knows what's going to happen. But new coaching staff, new GM. See if how or when or if they could get all of that stuff clicking with the actual on-field stuff at some point. And then Carolina, 8-9, 9-8. Just pick your poison with Carolina.
Yeah, that's about it. Because fucking AFC South, I mean, it's pretty similar to last year the way I see it. It's not really too much different.
Wentz going to Indy intrigues me.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting, especially with what could have been or should have been last year with Rivers, against the Bills.
Yeah, because Indy's got a good running game. I like the receivers.
I don't know. Is T.Y. getting old? T.Y. Hilton getting
old? He hasn't been the same for like the past 5 years.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I don't really hear much of it, but I mean, also who's even being thrown to by like Jacoby Brissett?
Right.
Yay. Like I like Jacoby Brissett overall, but he's definitely like one of the top tier backups to me.
Right.
I mean, who else do they have as a wide receiver?
Michael Pittman,
Okay.
who said he is not going to give up number 11 for Carson Wentz.
Yeah, that was I saw that and I was laughing my ass off too. That
You know who Carson Wentz? You know who Carson Wentz reminds me of? You ever watched fucking SNL?
I haven't in a long time, to be honest.
Oh my god, Pete Davidson does these fucking bits on there where he plays this guy named Chad. Where it's just like, and he gets told stuff, and like, there's one where he goes in this haunted house, and this ghost is just like, you have to pass this message on for me, or I'll haunt you forever. And he's just like, okay. Like that's like I just feel like that's Carson Wentz's personality, where he's just like, all right, like just doesn't stand up for himself. Doesn't.
Well, I mean, with not a lot of drama coming out of Philly last year, even though there was drama in Philly last year, but like him not like voicing it and being all weird about it. Yeah, I can see that because he's just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll go to Indianapolis. Sure, guys. Yeah. Bye. No, yeah, I can totally see that.
Just getting told by Doug Peterson before a game, like, if
you're not playing.
If we lose this week, you're not starting next week. Oh no! Like,
that's too bad.
Like, just doesn't even care like what's going on around him. Just like I just want to go out there and throw the ball. Like that's all I want.
Just let me play till my leg breaks. I don't know. I don't really see like their wide receivers as like a big threat, to be honest. Especially after last year's game.
Carson Wentz totally different
quarterback would definitely change the outcome of that game. Honestly,
but of the two, I feel like Phillip Rivers was the better quarterback.
I mean, that comes with experience.
I think with Carson Wentz, I think Indy might be one of the 3 or 4 most intriguing teams in football because they got a really good team.
Yeah.
Their wide receivers aren't spectacular, but they get the job done. He's still solid. They kind of did it by committee last year. They had a bunch of dudes. You didn't have Stephon Diggs or DeAndre Hopkins on that team, but they just had a bunch of dudes had like 45, 50 catches. I think Hilton led them with like 60. They kind of just did it by committee.
They had the second leading rusher in the league too last year.
Did they?
I believe so.
They're like a quiet, good team.
They are.
Like I don't ever really hear anything crazy about them one way or the other, but they're always somewhat solid.
No, they're sneaky good.
Yeah, they just have guys who just find ways to be effective.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor, he had a real good. He ran for like 1,200 yards last year. He had a really good year for them. When he stepped into that role, they got a couple of running back, couple other guys too. They got this guy Naheem Hines. He did a really good job rushing for them too. So yeah, the Colts, they're just a team that they're just solid all the way around. I think overall, and they're well coached too. Frank Reich is a really good head coach. So Buffalo.
I've always liked him.
Yeah, Buffalo. Buffalo fans know a lot about him.
Yeah.
So, but the Colts, they're a team. I think they're going to be. If there's any team that could, and Frank Reich was Carson Wentz's offensive coordinator in Philadelphia when Carson Wentz had his best season when he was on his way to winning MVP before he got injured.
Oh, he was definitely winning MVP that year if he didn't get hurt.
Absolutely. And
statistically, he was so far ahead of everybody.
Yes, he and unfortunately, he got injured that year, and he still finished second in the league in touchdown passes, even with the games that he missed.
Yeah.
So, and he's being reunited with the guy who he had that season with. and Frank Reich. So if anybody can get great football out of Carson Wentz, it is him. So I think Indy's going to be a real factor. I think they're going to win that division. I think they're going to win it fairly. If Carson Wentz is back on his game and he's back and he gets back to that form that had him en route to winning MVP before his injury, I think the Colts are a dark horse Super Bowl contender. I really do.
Well, I mean, they were 2 games out from it last year, so realistically, with a better quarterback, my whole thing is Wentz's confidence. You know, after last year and everything that happened, after the year before that, when I think he was a little scared to be in the pocket.
Yeah.
Getting out and making plays earlier than he needed to instead of being, calm and staying there a little bit. If he can get that under control, man, you're right, dude. Like, I believe it. Absolutely. Like I said, they were 2 games out last year with a noodle arm old man as a quarterback. So, and you can get Wentz in there and get him moving, get him ready. Yeah, they could easily go.
And that offensive line is outstanding. I mean, they got
Oh,
one
that's
of the
easily top 2.
in the entire NFL.
Yep.
So Wentz is gonna get that protection. So it's just on him. Carson Wentz, it's on you, to get it done. And if he plays to that level that he did, you know, his MVP caliber year in Philadelphia, Indianapolis has got a real shot to with this 17 game schedule, they got a real shot to go. I mean, they went 11-5 last season.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to think why, if Wentz plays at that level, he has a higher ceiling at his best than Philip Rivers does. So, if he can hit that level again, Indy's going to win about 12, 13 games in 2021.
Yeah, no, I see it easily, to be honest. As long as he gets his shit together.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. All comes down to him at this point. Like, that's the piece they were potentially missing. There could be, like you were saying, their wide receivers are solid, but there could definitely be upgrade in Indy for their wide receivers. And who knows? Julio Jones could be a part of that, for all we know. Send him out of the conference,
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, because I doubt
about everybody else. Aaron Rodgers, all of them. Send them out of the conference.
Yeah, I doubt Atlanta's gonna want to deal with Julio Jones.
Yeah, exactly.
In the future.
Yeah. But we're talking about the year extending. 17 games, 18 weeks now. Derrick Henry.
He's going to run for about 8,000 yards.
8,000 yards. Maybe like 50 yards shy of that, but I think you're close, honestly.
Derrick Henry is a monster. At this point, when it comes to Derrick Henry, the only question is how long can he keep it up?
I mean, how old is he now?
He's not that old.
He's not. So,
he's just so hard to. I mean,
finally has a good offensive line. That's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, no, it's him and that offensive line just work as a single unit so well, and everyone talks about his size and his strength, and then to combine this speed that he has at that size with that, I still say his best attribute or his best skill is his vision. He'll be charging up the middle. Looks like he's just gonna run a power right up the center's ass, and then he'll just see this little lane open up off. I don't know how he can. He'll just see it out of the corner of his eye. You just see him. He does that sidestep, and he's gone.
Yeah,
and because he's so big, that sidestep he can. I mean, he covers a lot of ground in that sidestep.
Yeah, he's he's faster than he looks.
Now, I will say this. Yes, the yards are impressive. The production's impressive. But, people all talk about, the yards, and this and that. Well, it's easy to rack up all those yards when you're carrying the ball 400 times a year. He had because people were breaking down who was I forgot his name, the running back for the Colts, or whoever finished in second behind Henry for the rushing title last year. He was I think, just shy of like 200 yards behind Henry, but had 100 less carries than Henry. You know what I mean? A lot of Henry's production comes from the fact that he has the heaviest workload of any running back in the league. But his body's built to take a heavy workload like that. So that team's gonna go as he goes.
Yeah, if he keeps up what he did last year, they're close. They're definitely close.
So
another team, like I think the AFC South has a thing for offensive lines at this point. Because Tennessee's offensive line is another one that's like top notch. Yeah. Like top 5 easily.
And the other thing with Derrick Henry or with the Titans really is, I'm still not sold on Ryan Tannehill. Still find Ryan Tannehill very overrated. The Ravens in the playoffs.
I think he's like properly rated because people thought he was trash before for the longest
time. But the Ravens took away Derrick Henry in the playoffs last year, and they had to rely on Ryan Tannehill. Anytime they've had to rely on Tannehill, he cannot get the job done.
Well, the number 2 rusher in the NFL finished damn near about 500 yards behind Derrick Henry. That was Dalvin.
That was Dalvin Cook. Okay, that's what I thought.
Dalvin Cook, he's big time too. When he's healthy, he's big time. We can talk about Dalvin Cook when talk about the NFC North, but but Derrick Henry though, coming off that 2,000-yard season, one of only 8 players ever. Me and Dave talked about this last week though. Guys who run for 2,000 yards the following season tend to fall off pretty big. So it's going to be interesting to see if he's able to become the first guy to break that curse. I think the most yards anybody ran for after a 2,000-yard season the following year was like 1,400 yards by Barry Sanders, and even that was 570 yards less than he did during his 2,000-yard season. So it's going to be with teams, I could easily see teams lining up 8, sometimes 9 men in the box and just saying, you know what, Ryan Tannehill, it's on you to beat us. And if you can't, God bless you. And in that playoff game, when Derrick Henry couldn't, Ryan Tannehill just simply didn't get the job done.
So, we were talking about how Dalvin Cook ran for less attempts, and he was about 500 yards or so behind. It was like 475 or so. But what's interesting is like how you say that just because he ran so many more times, he ran about 60 more times throughout the whole season. He still had it was at 5.4 yards per attempt, and Cook is at 5 even. Yeah. That is insane to hold for a whole year. And Derrick Henry actually has 5 yards per carry for his whole career, which that you don't see that. Like, how do you barely see 4.4 or anything like that? Like for him to be
he falls 5 yards.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he just falls forward and there's a first down right there for you.
Another thing though, to your point about the Titans going as Derrick Henry goes, they went 11. They actually won that division last year at 11-5. In the games that they lost, Derrick Henry only averaged like 80. I want to say like 85 yards rushing a game in the 5 games he lost. So that meant Ryan Tannehill, it's on you to get the job done, and Tannehill simply couldn't do it. But even though statistically Ryan Tannehill, if you look at his numbers, he had a pretty great year. But a lot of that was based on Derrick Henry's ability to run the ball, and then he could go
Sets up play action.
Yeah, play action pass, and Ryan
That's
Tannehill.
how they killed the Bills.
Yeah.
The Bills were so concentrated on stopping Derrick Henry that Ryan Tannehill, and Jonnu Smith had fucking field day.
Yeah. And it was not props to Tannehill for any of that either. That was just our bad scheming. Easily our bad scheming. I mean, like
Mulatto was hurt. Mulatto was hurt. Mulatto was out that game.
Yep. Yeah. He's definitely one of our better coverage linebackers too. So having him out like that is fucking. It was like 3-4 weeks in a row there. That was terrible.
The whole secondary was pretty much decimated that week too. Pretty sure Josh Norman got the start because Trey White was out too, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was like a hamstring or something. And then Josh Norman became a meme because of Derrick Henry. Straight up just tossed him like a baby. Boom. Good night. Threw him right out of bounds. Oh, God. It made us look horrible. Like, go back to Carolina. He's the one Carolina transplant we could have dealt without. Yeah,
he was the best though for
that,
a few years.
Tennessee goes as Derrick goes. There's no doubt about it at this point. Like Tannehill's 8-9 years in the league now?
Yeah.
Maybe 8 years?
9 years.
9 years was it? Okay.
This is year number 10 for him.
Okay, yeah. So after 9 years and you're still not quite getting it done the way you should be, that you were touted that you should be, is it really worth holding on to you? Like, do you think this is the year where they're like, maybe we draft somebody else? I mean, they did it to Mariota pretty quick. They're going to do it to him too?
No, they signed him to an extension, So he's going to be there for at least this year, next year, and the year after that. So he's going to be at least through 2023.
That sucks for the Titans. Good for us, I guess. Any other big points on the AFC South? Gardner Minshew, Tebow. We already talked that at the beginning of the show, obviously.
Yeah, man.
Jacksonville. I mean,
the Houston Texans are going to be, in my opinion, the worst team in the entire league.
Houston Texans are going to have the number 1 pick.
I think so. I think they're going to be the worst team in football.
They're going to have 1 or 2.
Yeah. They are a really bad football team. They're horrible defense. I mean, Watson last year was outstanding for them. Played at a top 5 level. According to Pro Football Focus, he was the 4th-rated quarterback in the entire league. And they still went 4-12, which speaks to just how bad a football, even with great quarterback play, it didn't matter, and it's not going to matter this year. He could play at an all-time great level. And even then, that might get them to 6 wins. So
I feel like 6 is being generous.
Yeah, that's what I said. And that's with him playing at an all-time great level. Like I said, last year, Deshaun Watson was great. Like I said, according to Pro Football Focus, he was the 4th best quarterback in football last year. Ahead of guys like he was ahead of guys like Tom Brady. I think he trailed only Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, and Josh Allen. Those were the only guys he trailed, according to Pro Football Focus. So yeah, he had a stellar year, and they went 4-12. So I can't imagine that. And they didn't get any better. I mean, they had no first round pick. They traded that for to Miami
for a pack of fucking cools.
That team is a shit show.
They're the new Browns, man. They're the new Browns.
Yeah, it's gonna be years until anything happens again. Like, not only were they finally digging themselves out of the hole that they dug themselves in with like Brian Hoyer and all that, they finally are digging themselves out of that hole, and then all of this shit at once. Clowney, J.J. Watt, Watson, and his nonsense. I mean, come on. You're the Browns. You are the Browns. I wholeheartedly believe that they're going to be bad for at least another 5 years. What are you doing over there, Andrew?
They need to
It's
see
not OnlyFans, Andrew.
Brandy was looking for her bag of peanuts.
Oh, yes, she was.
You know what, man? The Texans really do need to make a trade for Deshaun Watson. They really do, and try to get back as much as they possibly can.
Yeah.
They'd
People knew that was quiet lately,
easily
too, to be honest.
get a first round pick for him.
You get 2 or 3 for him.
Yeah.
Oh
look
yeah.
Look at what Detroit got for Matthew Stafford.
Yeah.
And Deshaun Watson's easily better than him. So
They're in the same situation with him though that Green Bay's in with Rodgers. Is he wants out so badly, but they're not going to trade him to a team in the AFC. They're not going to trade him to a team in the AFC.
No. No, I wouldn't either. I mean, you'd be stupid too.
Right.
The whole thing, like, the whole legal thing too, has been like awfully quiet for him.
Yeah.
To be honest, which that either is telling me somebody's getting paid, or somebody's getting paid. They're keeping it hush hush now. All the big things, all the headlines are out, and he is like, oh, here you go, here you go, here you go, just and
I'm trying to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, like I'm trying to leave, and you're making it worse for me.
Yeah, I mean, all that stuff, the allegations and everything, I don't really give a shit about that. I mean, I do, because if it's true, it's fucked up.
This is also what we do now, so we kind of have to give a shit about it.
Right, and that too, like, I have to pay attention to this stuff and, like, be in the know about it. But just from a pure football standpoint,
I don't care until all the facts are out there. To be
it's stupid for teams to not at least inquire, and it's stupid for the Texans to just not take. Because sure, there's a team out there thinking like, let's just fucking throw them our entire draft next year. We'll give them just all of our picks.
It's like Herschel Walker all over again.
Because there are teams out there that are just a quarterback like Watson away from being fucking real contenders. Like, I feel like Denver is one of those teams. Say they did trade Watson within the conference, and they trade him to Denver. Denver with those receivers, poof.
Yeah, and Denver is like begging for quarterback. Right?
Yeah,
you made Dennis leave. You mentioned Denver and quarterback in the same sentence. You made him leave.
You put Watson on that team though. That team is good. That's a scary offense, in my opinion.
Like, what can you really do at that point? Like, you're gonna have to send everybody into the fucking secondary, and then still have to watch him.
Right.
No, yeah, I see Watson landing somewhere you don't expect.
Yeah.
And just tearing it up and Super Bowl finally. Maybe he gets his Super Bowl and leaves. He's like, fuck the NFL.
Oh, if he gets traded to the AFC West, Patrick Mahomes is going to shit himself.
As he should. He should. Fuck it. Like, it's bad enough having to go up against Josh Allen again this year.
Right. Then having to play Deshaun Watson twice a year.
Yep.
Wow.
It's 3 games right there. You'd be like, oh, fuck.
Right.
Nah, man, just had to take out the trash real quick, fellas.
It's all good.
Yeah, I heard y'all talking about Watson possibly going to Denver. Whatever it takes to make sure that Drew Lock isn't our starting.
I was waiting for it. I was like, "Why you're gonna come back? You're gonna come back like fuck Drew Lock."
So if my phone rang right now and it was John Elway on the other end, he said, "We want you to come play quarterback for us."
It's not Drew Lock.
Yeah, it's not Drew Lock.
No, it better not be. be Drew Lock, man.
You're gonna be
There's just-
real disappointed here in a few months.
I have a feeling I'm going to be though, man. Just my gut feeling, Drew Lockett will be the starting quarterback for the. I'm hoping Bridgewater beats him out if it's him. You know, I'm just hope. I'd much rather see Bridgewater as our starting quarterback than Drew Lock.
Honestly, I think that's how it's gonna go.
You know, the Raider game in Vegas. You know, the Raiders only won like 1 or 2 games at home, and one of those 2 wins at home was against Denver, and Drew Lock was he was a turnover machine all season, but he really turned it over a lot in that game. And it's like I think Denver was the only team in the league that made that Raiders defense even look competent, you know. And that
And it
to
was
me
not all year.
the Raiders defense was garbage all season except for when they went up in that game against Drew Lock, which told me that, you know, this guy Drew Lock, you know, he's just not it. He's not a starting caliber quarterback. Can he be a backup, come in for you get 3-4 games and fill in, that be a spot guy? Sure. But if Drew Lock is your full-time starter, it's just not gonna work at all.
No. It's safe to say he's a lock to hold the clipboard. And on that note, I'm gonna go get a drink.
Yeah, I just the whole Deshaun Watson thing is just insanity right now.
How many women have come out during that whole situation? Like 75?
I don't know. I stopped counting once it hit double digits. I stopped counting.
Yeah, I lost count after a while, man. It's like once you get past like 12, it's like, all right, man, you lost it. You lost me, you know, at that point. So that's why I said 75, just to be like on the safe side.
Are we still trashing Drew Lock?
No, we're back to talking about Deshaun again. We're back on track. It's just
every time Drew Lock or Tim Tebow.
I swear to God, some team in that division. I don't know if it was the Colts, because their ownership group has been known to do some shady business. I don't know if it was the Titans. I don't know if it was Jacksonville. But one of them fucking executives from one of those 3 teams paid Bill O'Brien a ton of money to destroy the Houston Texans from within.
I honestly, I couldn't even hate on that theory. It's probably the cons. They're probably sick of being the worst in the division, so they're like, "Hey, Bill, you want to just fuck some shit up? Here's a cool couple million, you know. Here you go.
Yeah,
I'll even bring you in so you can wrestle on my TV show."
Yeah. Oh, they got one of the top 3 wide receivers in the game. Trade him. Trade him out of fucking nowhere for no reason at all or no explanation whatsoever. Trade him for a 3rd round pick and a fucking useless running back.
Oh god, yeah, Johnson. He was never the same after he got hurt.
Who's that?
David Johnson.
They got for him, right? No, because that's who they traded. Because
his rookie year.
He had that year in Arizona where he was, I think he led the league in rushing.
Yeah, and then he got hurt. And then that he didn't come back right from it. And that was like his rookie year. He's never been the same.
Yeah.
He's just been washed. He's just washed up. He's finished.
Yeah. He's not even that old. That's the sad part.
Well, most running backs, typically, they don't really last very long. You know, you don't see a lot of 30-plus-year-old running backs.
No, they tend to start petering out at about 27, where Derrick Henry's at now.
Yeah.
That's why I worry about Derrick Henry because, you know, coming off the season that he had, the 2,000 yards, none of the guys that ran for 2,000 yards had, came close to that the following year.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Adrian Peterson had a huge drop off after his 2,000-yard season.
he did. So
And he won the MVP that year.
Yeah.
So crazy. David Johnson, ever since he had that, it was his second year where he had a monster year in Arizona.
Okay.
And then after that, I think the next 4 years combined, he's barely ran for slightly more yards than he did his second year in the league. So, and that year he had 16 touchdown rushes. In the last 4 years combined, he only has 15. So think about that.
Yeah,
1 year, 16 touchdowns 1 year, and then the next 4 years combined, you have 15. So yeah. And he's never averaged more than like 3.7 yards a carry. So that's just
yeah, that's a long way off from 5.0 for a career like Derrick Henry. That's where I still think Derrick Henry's got enough in him, and especially with the extra game, I think he's got enough to take that to the next level. And,
I mean, those bigger body running backs.
They don't last as long.
No, I don't know. I mean, look
harder. They're gonna fucking throw
look at Jerome Bettis.
The little guys are trying to be in and out,
Yeah, but how long did Jerome Bettis go?
True, but was he running for like 2,000 yards?
Yeah, I mean, well, because the only guy that you can physically compare Derrick Henry to is Jerome Bettis.
He's just a big dude,
just an absolute monster. It's going to be another 15, 20 years before another running back like Derrick Henry comes into the league.
Could be true, honestly.
Running backs like that don't come around very often.
Yeah.
I mean, Derrick,
too, because they're more
he
fun
makes,
ones to watch.
he makes big running backs look small. The bigger running backs, they have the drop off, but it takes longer for them to get to that point where a team's just like, you're not effective anymore.
Yeah.
But the thing with Derrick, with Jerome Bettis, you mentioned, he had a couple big years there in Pittsburgh, and then, his last really great year was in 2000, where he ran for a little more than 1,300 yards, and then after that, and that was at age 28, and then massive fall off from that point on. So
you figure that's at least 700 yards less. So I mean, Derrick Henry is just his own genre of running back at this point. Not big, because Jerome Bettis was not like, he was big,
he was not tall,
but he was not tall, and he was not as fit.
He was thick. He was
more thick than fit. Yeah.
Fit.
Yeah, which that's where the durability would kick in, I think. Derrick Henry has a little bit longer in him because of that.
Derrick Henry's like 6'4".
Yeah.
6'4", 240.
Yeah, man.
That's why Shannon Sharp doesn't even call him by name. He just calls him 6'4", 240.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I mean, he's just if I was a professional football player, DBs are lying if they're saying that they are not scared of him when he's running at with a full head of steam. I don't believe a single one of them that says they're not scared of him.
I'm about to take a tripping penalty right here, is what they're thinking.
I'm just going to go low and hope for the best. That's
all you can do on a big dude like that, though.
Yeah. You're taking your life into your own hands trying to tackle that guy.
I'm not doing that, man. What I'm doing is I'm just making a business decision, and I'm just getting down to the ground. And I'm not going to give him the chance to, embarrass.
I'm at least gonna make it look. I'm like
let him do it.
go in like I'm gonna tackle, but then like just like trip.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I'm gonna try to trip the dude. If anything, if that's gonna be the closest thing to a tackle that I'm doing with that dude.
Bad, but I picture trying to wrap that guy's legs up as trying to tackle a moving tree trunk.
It's just a car. Just what it is. He is
Like
a
I said,
full-blown automobile.
Like I said, if I
he's
see
just got. I mean, he's just so much.
Dennis, say what you were gonna say.
if I see Derrick Henry coming right at me, I already told y'all, man, I'm making a business decision at that point. Live to fight another down. Let somebody else tackle that dude.
Right? I heard he could hurdle good. Just crouch.
Yeah, that is what I'm doing. Like tuck and roll.
He's
Like
just
tuck and roll just like they taught you in elementary school. You know what I'm saying?
That's a
man.
no thank you for me.
He's just a freak of nature, man. It's just
yeah.
Dude that big should not be able to move that fast. Or not even fast, just move like normally when a big guy like that runs, it's like clumsy looking and stuff, but like when he runs, it's smooth. Yeah. It's just like, oh my God, it's scary. I'd be scared if I was a defensive back. I'd be like, there ain't no fucking way. Somebody's gonna have to come help me.
Like we get an extra linebacker over here, please. Like I either need to get picked up or help tackling this guy. One or the other.
If he had when he broke past the line, I started getting into the second level, and are you fucking kidding me?
That's where I'm just like, oh shit, I juked myself. I tripped over nothing. Sorry. I'll get him next time.
AKA business decision.
Yeah. The best hope is to just like keep backpedaling and keep yourself in front of them and just like hope you can kind of like just steer them out of bounds or something.
Yeah, I don't feel like being this week's meme either, so.
Yeah. Josh Norman got fucking flatlined.
Oh
by...
that was dude, like 2 weeks after that, there was somebody else he just like that's all he did. He was like, and the guy's like, oh fuck. He's like LeBron on the court, fucking gets his fake ass hairline touched. And he's like, oh fuck, my life, my ankle's dead. Oh god, come on. Derrick Henry even looks at you wrong. Shit. AFC South though, we were way off track, but still on track at the same time, I guess. Who's got the division?
I'm going Colts. I think Carson Wentz is revitalized under his former offensive coordinator in Philadelphia. I think the Colts are a dark horse Super Bowl contender. I got them winning the division at 12-5.
I'll give them 11 wins. Still winning the division though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the Titans.
Solely for our man Derek.
I'm going to say the Titans win the division. I do agree with your win total, though. I think that I say 12 wins for the Colts, but the Titans also finish with 12 wins, and the Titans win on tiebreakers.
Okay.
I'm going to come back to all these predictions that
with this new 17 game schedule, man, I see a lot of tiebreakers coming into play.
Yeah.
A whole lot.
No, I could definitely see that. I'd see a lot of late season drama. I mean, you're going to get those divisional games at the end of the year anyway, no matter what. So I could see a lot of late season. The last third of the season, you'll just be in, neck, especially in the AFC South. I can see those teams going neck and neck each week.
I honestly think it could happen. Except for maybe the AFC West and the AFC East. The rest of the divisions, though, I could see it coming down to the last game of the season to find the winner. Maybe the NFC South is exempt from that too. I think Tampa just runs that division.
I think having another year together, like, some players weren't there last year. Tom Brady, Gronk. I think having them all together one more year just makes them even better than they were last year.
I mean, I don't want to do it, but they're my favorite.
Unfortunate fact right now. Yeah, I have them.
It's an unfortunate fact. In my head, they are my favorite to win the Super Bowl.
I have them winning with 12 wins.
I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going. I have them going 13-4.
Okay.
I don't think they're going to win. I've seen some things about will they possibly go 17-0. No, that's not happening.
He's not doing that again.
But I think they're going to go. But I think they're going to go 12-5, 13-4. I think they're going to go 13-4, and depends on whether or not they're the 1 seed in the NFC. It depends on what happens with Rodgers. If Rodgers comes back to Green Bay, I could see them getting that 1 seed. I could even see one of those NFC West teams like the Rams getting that 1 seed. So,
yeah, we were talking last week about the Rams. I could see that easily. Yeah, easily.
If you held me up right now at in terms of my NFC team right now, if I were to pick an NFC team right now to get to the Super Bowl, I would pick the Rams because I think they got the best overall roster in football. I really believe it. I think Stafford is going to show out for that team. He's finally got a really good team, or an outstanding team, actually.
Yeah.
So
it's another Tannehill situation. It's him, or it's either him in a good way or it's him in a bad way that determines the whole season.
But I think it's going to be in a good way for them. You got Sean McVay. You got all the talent. You got an offensive line. You got the best defense on the planet.
Got the best defensive player on the planet.
You got maybe the best football player, regardless of position.
Aaron Donald is the best player at any position in the NFL.
In the NFL, yes,
guaranteed.
And yeah, man, you got that great secondary led by Jalen Ramsey. So yeah, if you held me up at gunpoint, who I'd pick to win the NFC, I'd pick the Rams to win it. Although Tampa Bay is obviously going to have a lot of say.
Oh, yeah.
I got a hot take prediction for the NFC South.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
NFC South gets swept by the Buffalo Bills this year.
You know what?
I think the Bills can. I think the Bills can hang with Tampa.
Where's that game played?
That is in Tampa.
That's in Tampa.
These last years, we have been a really good away team too.
It's not a prime.
I don't think that's really a hot take necessarily.
If it was a primetime game,
it's lukewarm.
If it was a primetime game, Tampa wins that game. But it's not a primetime game. So I think the pressure of playing the defending Super Bowl champs, Tom Brady, and all that would get to the Bills in that moment in prime time. But it's at 1 o'clock Sunday afternoon. I think the Bills win that game.
We have a chance to see something similar, but not on Thanksgiving. Same division. You're not going to play against Drew Brees, so you're not playing.
He's not going to be playing against a legend. Yeah.
Yeah, you have at least a chance for 3 interceptions that game, so you better go get them. But that Thanksgiving Day game, man, I swear to God, I'm going to be just like it was in Dallas 2 years ago. I can't wait.
Oh, I fully expect the Bills to. I fully expect the Bills to shred New Orleans. I think they can.
What's awesome is it's the fucking late game too.
Yeah, I fully expect the Bills. I just think the Bills run the table in the NFC South this year. Because It'll be interesting to see how, because Tampa's the same team they were last year. So if the Bills go in and beat them, does that mean that the Bills had beat the Chiefs in the AFC title game?
I can't go back on last year though. But I mean, you could always have that conversation, but you can't go back on last year.
Oh,
It doesn't.
I know.
It's two different teams at that point. Well, it's not the Buccaneers. But
Exactly.
It's two different teams at that point, you know. But
I mean, Bills
Dennis,
are going in with Bills are going in with essentially the same roster.
just about. We got a couple additions. But Dennis, you were saying something about how you don't think that's a hot take?
I don't, because I could see that happening. Tampa Bay wasn't at least in the regular season. They weren't really that good of a home team. They were actually a better road team than they were in the regular season last year. They only went 4-4 at home, and they went 7-1 on the road, and they took the road path to the Super Bowl. Now, granted, the Super Bowl was played in their home stadium. And that was the best home game they played the entire season.
Yeah, you better play good this game.
But yeah, man. But yeah, I don't think that's a hot take at all. I could see Buffalo winning all 4 games against the NFC South for sure.
And we're hoping, that's for sure.
We already know Atlanta's defense is horrible.
Oh god, yeah. Josh Allen is just gonna hurdle all of them. At once.
Well, that game's gonna come down to Buffalo's defense. Can they stop Atlanta from scoring?
Can you stop potential Julio and Ridley combination?
Yeah. Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. Kyle Pitts, I'm excited.
Just like I always say with the Falcons, though, all the Bills got to do is score 36.
Yeah. No,
all the Bills got to do is.
I definitely see Bills go. I mean, obviously, I'm biased. I don't care. I'm going to say it. But from a pure football standpoint, like you always say, I could definitely see the Bills just running that table.
Yeah.
Easily.
And then they got to play Washington. Only thing about Washington that scares me, Chase Young is so good.
Yeah, but our offensive line got better too. So we'll see.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping these big boys on our offensive line that we had just push people around. Get our running backs going for once.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
How do you feel about
start soon enough?
How do you feel about Cody Ford?
I feel he is fairly solid. I'm not giving him a high tier grade or anything. I'll put him in he's in the middle third of the NFL.
I feel like this is a make or break year for him.
I feel that too, honestly. He's got to put up or shut up at this point. Because he's got his moments where he's just shoving people to the ground. But then, the next game against somebody who's elite, he's getting taken over.
But then after he got hurt, he missed the rest of the season.
Yeah.
The Bills' offensive line was fucking outstanding until the AFC Championship game.
yeah. True. I don't know. I think,
but not even. But most of those issues in the AFC Championship game were because the Chiefs' coverage was so good. It had nothing to do with the offensive line. It's because they can't expect the offensive line to hold blocks for 10 seconds. You can't ask that of any offensive line in the NFL.
No, it doesn't matter who you are. No, not a possibility.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, there's 300-pound people pushing other 300-pound people around for 10 seconds at a time, 60 minutes,
Yeah.
By the end of that, you're going to want a break, or you're going to need depth, or you're going to, somebody's going to get hurt. So, no. And you got to have somebody who's just going to get that ball out quicker. I think that's the problem there.
The thing with Allen, though, man, his greatest strength is his biggest flaw. And he's not Captain Checkdown. He's always going to look to go deep.
Why does it say my name on his cam? Y'all are creeps and take.
Yeah.
What? We can't hear me at all? Can't hear me at all. That's weird.
Who? What?
Must not be able to. Brandy was saying that she can't hear me at all.
That's where all these detect rounds are.
They're in the same spots.
They're
Why
in the
not,
same
man?
spot.
For all of them. One out there at the gate and one out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's weird. So I've been talking this whole time, and y'all motherfuckers couldn't hear me. Okay. How about now? Can you hear me now, Brandy? You still watching? God damn it. So that's probably what happened. Everybody's like, "Oh, this motherfucker's talking, but ain't nothing coming out." That's what I get for trying something new.
Oh,
Yeah.
we lost Dennis.
Oh no. It's okay. I think this is about close to the end of this one anyway. AFC South. It's quite boring to talk about, to be honest. Y'all are creeps. It's whoever. Man, yeah, you got to start using your email or whatever to hop on. Apparently, because it does say.
Oh, well, because you sent me, because we're doing it on Google now.
Yeah.
So you sent me the link, and I just clicked on it because I'm on Brandy's laptop. Well, I'm on Brandy's laptop, so I just clicked on it.
That's funny. All right, well, shit. I'm hoping we can. Yeah, I can actually be heard at this point. No, that's that's kind of annoying because we actually had some good shit going on there for a minute. So yell at her and tell her to hop back on and see if she can hear me.
Oh man.
Well, at least I have the exact setup for next time at least.
Right.
I think I'm gonna totally keep doing this one though. I can actually like do the live editing like I wanted to. Get that,
right.
Start doing some of that shit. I can start pulling up articles and stuff that we're talking about on the side here. I don't know if you have like the stream pulled up at all, but
no.
I got a little space over here where the name is that we like put whatever we're talking about. If I'm googling it or something, I can like pull it up and show you and shit like that, or show the audience. So we're getting there. We're upgrading here.
Nice.
But I didn't know that Google Meets like this was like free. Like free?
Yeah.
So fuck it. I would start using this one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, if you want to call this one, we can call this one.
I'm good with calling it.
Episode 4 in the books. Not very well apparently, but it's in the books. I'm definitely using that as like the tagline of our next video. Not very good, but we did it.
We're not the football podcast that the world deserves, but we're the one it needs.
Insert very mediocre Batman reference here.
Hey man, that reference could be used at any time in life, all the time.
You are not wrong. Well, on that note, catch us next week. We will be talking about the fantasy league that we have started, because we did not talk about that this week, but we'll talk about that next week. And
AFC, NFC North.
Yep, finishing it off. Yo,
What up, man?
you back?
Yeah, man. Back in the house.
Nice. That was a good timing because we were actually just talking about how we got the fantasy league set up. We only got a couple people waiting to pay up and join up here.
How much does it cost to tune in?
It's we're doing 25, and I mean if you want a separate team, you can have a separate team, but we're basically one team as a podcast right now.
Right.
And so yeah, I'm hoping I don't fail you guys.
Right.
But I think there's a way that I can add you guys as like admins to that too, if you guys want to draft or whatever. What I'm planning on doing is drafting on a Saturday night. So I'll draft while we're talking the shit and like shooting the shit. That I'll be drafting during it too.
Okay.
So I'm gonna see if it'll work. We'll see. It'll be like right after the third preseason game. So we'll see. Hopefully it works out pretty good.
Hope so.
But yeah, no. Other than that, I think shit, unless you guys got anything else to add, anything else to
No.
plug.
Yeah, man.
Excuse me.
While we're on the topic of these two South divisions, um, who do you guys have finishing in last place? Because obviously, for me in the
Jaguars.
AFC, I got the Texans. I got the Texans finishing in last place.
Yeah, no,
I got the Texans finishing dead last in the league. So
yeah.
I do too. I think the Texans are going to win like 2-3 games.
Ooh.
I do.
They deserve it though at this point for all the shit they've done.
Yeah, they do.
Other than that, NFC South.
Carolina.
Yeah, that's easy to see at this point. Like the more that we talked about them throughout the night, yeah, it's Carolina. It's got to be.
Yeah, I think Atlanta finishes in second. I think Atlanta's gonna surprise a lot.
I think they bounce back because, like you said, like these last few weeks, you said it almost every week. Atlanta was the best 4-12 team ever.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I fully agree with them making a bounce back this year.
I see Atlanta making the playoffs.
Yeah, of course you do.
I'm just looking at their schedule, their record, or not their record, their roster. Even with all the Julio Jones stuff, Calvin Ridley has proven that he can fucking carry the load for that passing game.
He can. He came in exactly as I thought he would. Like I was hoping and praying that he ended up on the Bills when they were drafting.
And then you bring in, then they just drafted Kyle Pitts. Who's got all the same ability that Julio Jones has. He just plays it at the tight end position.
Yes.
So, I mean, really, even if they do trade Julio Jones, they're not really losing anything.
No, they are definitely losing something, and that is a bullshit lie. The fact is, they can somewhat make up for his departure if it happens. Like, it's more viable. Like, if they really wanted to, they could totally get rid of him and be okay. But if they keep him and they shell out the money, they could be right back in the Super Bowl. Who knows? You know, it all comes down to your defense.
The problem is the whole talk of getting rid is because they don't have. Because Kyle Pitts, he's going to be an expensive signing if they just don't have the cap
in like 4 years.
No, they're in bad cap space, man.
Are they they're that bad?
They're in bad cap space.
I would say the Bills are like bottom 10. So I don't know where the Falcons are, but
last I checked, the Chiefs were the worst. And that's even after that's even after they let go the highest paid tackle in the league.
I would say I put one up on our Instagram and Twitter and whatnot. It showed like the top 10 or 15 worst teams in the for the cap right now. And the Bills, the Falcons, the Bucks, and Chiefs were all right there.
Yeah.
The Falcons have a chance to make a push for the playoffs. Those 4 NFC teams though are so good. The Rams, the 49ers are going to be healthy again. You got Seattle with Russell Wilson. As long as he's healthy, they've always been in the mix. And then the Arizona Cardinals. So Atlanta's got a lot of competition to deal with just from those NFC West teams to get a playoff spot. But if Matt Ryan could play up to his usual level, Calvin Ridley and those guys, and their defense, steps up, then yeah, they could vie for one of those spots.
They could be. I could see them being 10-7 at best. Which, depending on how the rest of the conference falls, they'll either finish the season on the bubble and just miss the playoffs, or they'll just sneak into the playoffs.
Yeah, I could see that. I agree with that.
They're gonna, if they make the playoffs, they're gonna be the 7th seed for sure.
You think they're gonna go one and done?
Depends. If they gotta say they gotta go up to fucking Green Bay, no, they're not gonna win.
You don't
know what I
You
mean?
don't know that because we don't know how that situation's even working out right now.
Right. But just say no.
It's a wild start to the year so far.
If they gotta play in cold weather, forget about it.
Oh yeah, I mean they live indoors. Yeah. What do you expect? Yeah, no.
Just for the sake of argument, say Chicago wins their fucking division, and that's who Atlanta has to go play in the playoffs.
Yeah, Soldier Field's gonna be a little cold. Is it even called that anymore? I'm probably dating myself with that reference. Soldier Field.
No, it's still Soldier Field, I think.
Okay. God, I feel old sometimes. I'm like, oh yeah, Rich Stadium. I don't know. You guys have got anything else to add about these two very, very mediocre divisions?
Yeah. Mediocre is the best word for those divisions.
That's so vanish. I think there's a lot of mediocre to bad. Some of the worst teams in football are in these divisions. Jacksonville, I don't think they're going to be very good. Even even with Trevor Lawrence as their quarterback.
Nah. That's kind of funny. We only now just mentioned his name because Tebow overshadows that. Watson overshadows that. Like his division is a fucking shit show.
Well, the whole thing with me with the Jaguars is you really don't know what to expect from rookie quarterback going in. He was the number one pick. I see him having a very similar year to Baker Mayfield's rookie year. If I could compare number one picks in the NFL and Baker Mayfield being the most recent one, or one of the most
being
recent,
in such a very similar situation,
and coming from and going to such a bad team.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
I could see Trevor Lawrence's and the Jaguars' season going much like the Browns' season did with Baker Mayfield his rookie year.
I could see that. What were you saying before all that, Dennis? I didn't mean to cut you off there.
I think if that's the case, that would be pretty good because I think the Baker Mayfield's rookie year, the Browns went like 7-8-1.
Yeah.
Trust me.
From like 0-16 before that,
yeah. I think that might have been. Well, what year was it they went on?
They went 0-16 and then they went 1-15.
That's right.
Yeah,
because it was two horrible years in a row.
Yeah, I think if the Jaguars would gladly take 7 wins.
Yeah.
This upcoming season. That's a great season for them if they do that. So, yeah, I think Trevor's going to come in. I think he's going to do a really good job.
I think he'll do as good as he can with what he's given.
He better get used to losing though, because he's never lost.
Yeah.
On any winners.
He also made a thing too. During one of his interviews, he also said he's like, that's not the biggest thing for me, and I'm like, you've never lost. You don't know what it is. Wait till you feel how it feels, and you're gonna change your whole perspective. You're gonna be like, that fucking sucks. Like I don't want that to happen again.
You know what though? I can't necessarily blame him because he doesn't have the story of nobody believed in him.
Oh no, everybody's believed in him his whole life. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's a whole lot different for him. So I can't knock him for that.
No, I don't knock him for it either. I'm just like, wait till he feels it though, and he's gonna be like, oh, that's different.
You have a guy like you mentioned, Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield had to walk on in college.
Yeah.
He wanted to go to the University of Texas.
Mm-hmm.
They wouldn't even bother to offer him a scholarship.
Yeah, they didn't even look at him.
Yeah, he walked on, I think, at Texas Tech. And then I think Mahomes beat him out for the job there. He goes to Oklahoma. He had to walk on at Oklahoma. He becomes something of a legend in Oklahoma. He wins the Heisman there. And then he somehow gets drafted number 1. But, even though for a guy who was a number 1 draft pick, a lot of people counted him out. They didn't think, oh well, he's too small. He doesn't, he doesn't have a big arm, and he's playing in a cold weather division where
Yeah,
you got to
he's not fast, and he's got a horrible team around him.
get
But
that.
look how quickly that changed, though.
Yeah,
They
and
brought in a
that,
lot of talent.
yeah, they did, man. And he doesn't have a big arm either. And in a division where you're playing a lot of cold weather game, you play in Cleveland, so that's cold. And
Yep.
then you got to play in Cincinnati. Cincinnati's not obviously not a good team.
They're
but
both
you're in
like really close to each other too, and it's right off the lake. It's like playing in Buffalo.
Yeah, it's cold weather.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, cold weather. And Pittsburgh's consistently in the mix.
Yeah.
And then Baltimore,
Cold weather.
Exactly.
That whole division is a tundra.
Yeah, and you don't have a Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen type of arm
No.
either. So there's also that working against where you could, or an Aaron Rodgers type of arm.
Yeah, no, I
where-
call him like an extreme game manager. Like he's a game manager plus. Like he can manage
Yes.
the game, but then he's got some wild plays too.
Yes,
But he's not
Absolutely.
like you said, he's not Allen. He's not hurdling over a fucking Anthony Barr. You know?
he's not doing that.
No.
He's only like 6 feet. He's only 6 feet tall. He can't do that. Josh Allen's 6'5".
Yeah. He just looks at you wrong, and you're like, oh.
Yeah, yeah, I think I think Houston's gonna bring up the rear in their division. I think Jacksonville finishes third, 5-6 wins for them. But let me get back to T Law. Yeah, his whole life, he's always had, like you said, he's always had people that believed in him. He was number one in high school. He was the number one guy in college. He was the number one pick in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
So he can't he can't use the nobody believed in me card, because like you said, everybody's believed in him his whole life,
Yeah.
So ironically, the motivation is different for him. So when he says, this sport, I heard him say something about how, football isn't the end all be all for him. And I kind of get it, because it's like you've been used to, based on his life experiences, he's used to being at the top of the food chain. So,
Yeah, I'm thinking maybe he got a little bored winning.
His entire life, all that's happened to him is he's been told how great he is.
Yeah.
yes.
I think he's a little
And-
bored of it. That's why he's just like, whatever.
Yeah.
Until he feels it, and then he's gonna be like, no, never again. And then watch him go on like a fucking rampage.
You know what? I want to see what happens. I don't think this year. I want to see what he does in 2022 after the Jaguars have a losing season, which will be the first one he's had in his life. They go something like 5-12, something 6-11, something like that, and now he's got to deal with real adversity for the first time ever. That's next season is really the season I look forward to seeing Trevor Lawrence, to see, okay, now you know what it's like to not be at the top. Now
Yeah.
Welcome back to reality.
Yeah.
Bold prediction.
And Claw.
Bold prediction. They are gonna go to the AFC Championship.
Who?
This year?
Jacksonville.
This year? This year or 2022?
No, I'm talking about this year. He's gonna be like, oh yeah, I still win.
No. Their defense is still terrible.
I know. That's why it's bold. That is why it's a bold.
They're gonna have. They'll be lucky to not be picking inside the top 10 next
Oh
year.
no, they're picking inside the top 10.
But they're gonna take the best defensive player in that draft.
They'd fucking better, because they got rid of a couple of them already. No, Dennis, I fully agree with you. My bold prediction is shit. I fully agree with you.
You know what though? I'm in the mood for a little bit of a bold prediction right now. I think Carson Wentz is going to bounce back and have a season that puts him in the top 5 MVP candidates.
Okay.
And the Colts emerge as a top 5 NFL team, and they legitimately challenge for the Super Bowl.
Well, they were in the top 6 or 7 last year, just from where they placed. I mean, how far they got in the playoffs. So that might not even be that bold.
No,
to be honest.
The bold prediction is Carson Wentz playing at an MVP level.
Okay. All right.
I think he's going to play at an MVP level.
Yeah.
I think he's going to finish. I think he's going to. If I really wanted to go bold, I think he's going to throw 40 touchdown passes this season.
Okay. All right. That is pretty bold because you don't see that as much.
I think he's going to throw 40 touchdown passes this year, and Jonathan Taylor, I popped off a lot about running backs that come from Wisconsin because all of them have been pretty much bust in the league. I think Jonathan Taylor is going to lead the NFL in rushing. I think he will rush for more rushing yards than Derrick Henry, than Dalvin Cook, and everybody.
It's that offensive line. That's what it comes down to. Yeah. If they keep playing like they've been playing the last couple of years, that could easily happen.
I think he's going to lead the NFL in rushing.
I can agree with you on that one too.
That's a solid. Yeah, that's.
Here's another bold one for y'all.
Oh shit, you full of them tonight.
NFC South. Tampa Bay will not reach the NFC title game.
Do tell.
That is a bold one.
They will not reach. Yes, they will not reach the NFC Championship game. They will be knocked off before then.
Okay. All right.
That is my bold prediction.
I was gonna say, I don't know, man. That one, I don't know if I can get by that one.
I feel like that's a good one. That's like a cliffhanger, man. I feel like that's something good to end it on right there.
I do think Tampa Bay will not reach the NFC Championship game.
Well, damn.
That's
a good one, and that one for the rest of you guys who are maybe not watching at this point, but will probably maybe see it later. We're gonna leave you on that cliffhanger because damn,
yes.
that's a rough.
And yes, I am fully aware that they are bringing back all 22 of their starters, which has never happened before for a Super Bowl champion. And I'm calling my shot right now. Yes, they will not reach. Forget the Super Bowl. They will not even reach the NFC title game.
You heard it here. Dennis is like, fuck Tampa, it ain't happening.
It's not even really that because I get accused of being like a Brady fanboy, but that's crazy. A lot of people a lot of people accuse me of being like the biggest Tom Brady fan, and I love Tom Brady, and I am an unapologetic fan of his. But I just think the disease of more. You come off, you win Super Bowl, you think, okay, we could just quote unquote run it back.
Let's go. Yeah.
But no, it's hard to repeat as champion in football, as the Kansas City Chiefs found out.
Yeah, but they at least made it back, though. You're saying they aren't even gonna fucking make it back to the game before that.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I see you.
If you held me up at gunpoint, which team I feel is going to go further, the Bucs or the Chiefs? I'm taking the Chiefs easily.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like
the Chiefs are going to lose in the AFC Championship game as a rematch of last year.
That's fine.
But then they would still be, based on that, though, they would still, for me, they would still get
make it further. Yeah, so you wouldn't be wrong either way, and I'd still be happy.
Exactly.
Well,
I feel like next week after we finish talking up
the fucking
AFC,
North.
AFC, NFC North. Yeah,
I get to talk about the Packers at least. So
I think that would be a good time for all of us to lay out our Super Bowl predictions. I'm gonna keep mine quiet. I'm gonna keep mine quiet till.
Wait, how about this too? We'll say them in this, but let's make an actual YouTube video, not like a live video.
You gotta hold on to it. Yeah, you can't change it halfway through the season.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. We'll do our prediction or whatever, like at the end, like we're doing here. But then we'll turn it into like an actual YouTube video because I'm trying to get more content on that channel too. So we'll turn that. We'll be like we'll have like the three of us do our predictions, and we'll just put it up like a little clip or something on YouTube as well.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Cool. Because I got that one. And I got a couple other ones in the works. Like once we start going, I got content.
we gotta get the jersey talk on at some point.
Yeah. Well, now that we're done next week, we're gonna be done talking about the draft in the off season.
We can get into some miscellaneous stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we can start getting into other shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe we can like condense them a little bit because we're not talking about two full divisions. You know?
Right.
So yeah, maybe we can retain viewers that way. We'll see. I'm gonna try to get like this marketing shit going, so we're like get our name out there for us. So hopefully in the next month or so, by the time the season starts, we got some legit followers.
Right.
But on that note, yeah, NFC AFC South both are very mediocre. And that's all I got to say about that.
Yeah. It's about where I'm at with them.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, and you actually like the Falcons too.
Yeah,
that's like me.
I have a dog in that fight.
Yeah.
The crazy thing, I think of all the teams in those two divisions, the two South divisions, I think the Colts have the highest, even more so than Tampa Bay. I think they have the highest ceiling of any team, especially if Wentz plays at the level that I believe he will play at.
I can agree with that.
I think as long as he plays how you think he's going to play, it's on for them. Like they
have the highest ceiling.
AFC Championship at least.
But then that means I'm going to have to leave a really good football team out. A team like Baltimore, maybe even, I'm not even sure, a team like Kansas City or even a Buffalo. I mean, Indy plays up to that level.
They almost had us at, right before the AFC Championship game. They almost had us. Like, they could have easily went the other way. So, yeah, like I was saying earlier, Wentz could be that difference.
That was one of the saddest passes, quote-unquote, Hail Marys I've ever seen in life. When Phillip Rivers attempted to throw that Hail Mary that he barely made it to the 20-yard line. I mean, that was one of the saddest throws I've ever seen. And like I mentioned to Dave a couple weeks ago, last week, like Buffalo didn't even come close to touching him in that game.
No, their offensive line was great. Yeah.
Yeah, it confirms just how washed up Phillip Rivers was.
That entire playoff run for the Bills proved that their pass rush was their weakest link.
The whole season proved that. The whole season proved that. It was weak.
Yeah, but it was really on display in the playoffs. Because
because I mean, the playoffs you're playing.
In the playoffs, you're playing the cream of the crop.
Yeah. But I mean, that's also where, like you say, like Indy's offensive line shined. That's a big reason why I think they're going to make it quite far. Like we could see them in the playoffs again this year, easily.
Oh,
like Buffalo could see them again easily, without a doubt. I think it's kind of funny where you're getting that age as a quarterback where your dick is working better than your arm. You got 9 kids. You got fucking less touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Some of those throws by Rivers were just fluttering in the air, man.
They were looking like 2013 Peyton Manning, or not 2013. What was the year where he was like real bad?
2015.
2015. Yeah, he's just like trying to throw this ball. This is how we throw it. Like I don't remember.
Yeah, he struggled badly.
No, I think Rivers felt that too in that game. I think that's why he was just finally like, you know what? That's
I'm
it.
done.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, not gonna take the continuity and like hopefully try for one more year or nothing. He's had enough. Rightfully so. Go make some more babies. Hit number 10. Hit number 10, Philip, for me.
Hey man, if he, 3 more kids, he'd have a basketball team.
Yeah, and he still wouldn't have as many as Antonio
He'd have a
Cromartie.
full 12-man. He'd have a full 12-man roster.
Oh, that's funny because he'd still be short. Antonio Cromartie is like, woo. Well, on that note,
Yeah.
you viewers,
Yeah.
have a good night. You one
All right.
viewer or who are still here.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, you guys, we will kill it again next week. Same time ish. Same place. Definitely the same place. But
Yeah, man.
yeah, you guys fucking AFC, NFC North. Talk Packers, talk Vikings. I guess we have to talk Bears. So
I'm interested. I really want to get into the Bears, man. I mean, with Justin Fields.
as a Packers fan, I don't, but yeah, I will.
I'm interested to see what the Bears do. Even the Detroit Lions with Jared Goff. Even though I think they're clearly the worst team in that
Yeah.
division.
No, I think this
I'm
is going to be a
interested to
good
see-
division.
I think
to
the
talk
NFC
about.
South is intriguing. Or the NFC North.
Well, of course, I was going to say, of course you do.
No, I meant the North.
No, the NFC North is definitely going to be crazy this year, because you never know what could happen between now and next week with Aaron, Fields, Andy Dalton. Who knows? Who knows? But that's for next week. So y'all have a good night. Peace out.
Peace.